Hi everyone. Thanks for joining Megaport live tech drop today. This is a weekly webinar that we're running on Friday. So I'll be doing the sharing for today. So for today's sessions, I'll be sharing about Megaport and some use cases. Followed by then, I'll be doing some simple demo. So here's a little information about me. I'm Serena To. I'm the pre-sale solution architect at Megaport, and I'm based in Singapore. So below is my email address as well as my LinkedIn. So if you want to get connected to me or if you have questions, do drop me an email. So Megaport at a glance, and what do we actually do? So Megaport is a network as service provider. So we operate our own global network infrastructure and manage this network through software-defined networking. So instead of you building your own networks, you can tap on Megaport, who will take care of the full life cycle management of the network infrastructure, hardware, licensing, services, and the network management. So through us, you can consume NAS on demand without the need to own, build, or maintain your own infrastructure. So with Megaport, you can simplify the management of your multi-cloud environment using a single interface and able to scale network resources across various cloud and location with just a few clicks on our portal. So by connecting to our network, you'll be able to get connected to hundreds of global services that we are already interconnected to today. So we have more than 860 data centers around the world, as you can see from the diagram. And so you're able to choose any data center operators that you want to get connected to us from. We are also connected to more than 300 clouds on RAM today. So by using our backbone, customers has the ability to connect to any destinations in our backbone across the globe on demand. So therefore, using one platforms enable you to get connected to our global ecosystem. Okay, so now let's go through on our Megaport products. Okay, so there are three different access products that get you access to our Megaport network, our backbone. So if you have a data center and you want to get connected to us, you can do via a port. So what is a port? So a port is basically a physical Ethernet interface that connect your organization network to Megaport network. So in short, it's just a NNI from your rack to Megaport demarcations in the data center using a physical cross connect. So our port interface is available in 1 gig, 10 gig, and 100 gig. So otherwise, if you don't have a data center and still have requirements to get connected to the cloud, we have this Megaport Cloud Router, which is our layer 3 services. So basically, it's a virtual router that can be deployed on our network that allows you to connect to multi-cloud directly without the need to connect to any data center. Okay, so the traffic will not be backhauled back to the data center. So this will allow direct cloud-to-cloud communications just between the router itself as well as the CSP. Okay, so our Megaport Cloud Router come with different bandwidth, ranging from 1 Gbps, 2.5, 5, and 10 Gbps. So Megaport Cloud Router is mainly used for cloud-to-cloud communications. For example, if you would like to have AWS and Google trying to communicate to each other, okay, using the router without routing the traffic back to the data center. We have another layer 3 services, which is a Megaport Virtual Edge, okay, that offer you the compute and connectivity for you to host your next-gen firewall, your SD-WAN gateway, virtual router, and integrated transit gateway in minutes using our portal. Okay, so what you have to do is just to choose from the list of vendor that are supported on our platform, such as Fortinet, Palo Alto, Cisco, Versa, Aruba, and also lately our newly supported vendor such as 6Win and Aviatrix. Okay, so basically you just have to bring your own licensing to use the MVE in our backbone. So by using a virtual cross connect, which is our layer 2 services, you can use that to get connected to the port, okay, to the MCR and the MVE to do any connections to any endpoint in our network. Okay, that includes the cloud on-ramp or to another data center operator in another region also. Okay, so this is different from the physical cross connect. So this is just a virtual cross connect, which is our layer 2 services. Okay. We also owns and operate our Mega IX globally. We also have Megaport Internet, which you can deploy instantly using our backbone for primary or even backup redundancy purposes. So Megaport has our own ecosystem, which we call it a Megaport marketplace. So by using a marketplace, you create your own ecosystem and publish your own service there, and having your partners or customers to get connected to you through the marketplace or consume your services through the marketplace. So this is one of the use case that you can use and how you can leverage on Megaport. So if you have a requirements for data center to data center interconnect, okay, this is how you can do. Like data center in Singapore, for example, need to connect to a data center in Hong Kong, and then maybe back to a data center in Japan. Okay, so as you can see from the diagram, this can be achieved through Megaport, and the service can be created in a portal just within a few minutes. So what you have to do is that you have to just order the 3 port in each of the locations that you want to get connected to, and using our virtual cross connect layer 2 to connect them up, okay, in this fashion. Okay, so with Megaport, you can easily connect data center using a private, secure, reliable connections between them. This can be also used to replace your traditional point-to-point like MPLS WAN by reducing extensive connectivity between the data center around the globe. Therefore, reduce cost and improve performance for connections between the data center. This will be another use case for connecting from data center to the public cloud service provider. So you can choose to connect to any of the data center which Megaport has a present in the diagram. And through the data center, you can connect to the CSP on the right that you need over a high data rate, over a private interface, as the cloud service provider are already connected over Megaport network in many different regions globally. So for example, you can connect to AWS via the Direct Connect, Azure via the Express Route, and Google via Partner Interconnect, as well as Oracle through Fast Connect. This can be achieved through the data center that the Megaport are present in. And therefore, if you need resiliency, you may spin up another data center, another port in another data center, or in another different zone in the same data center. Okay. Likewise, if you also require resiliency on the cloud service provider, you're able to do so by connecting to the redundant point of the CSP within the same or different region. So this will ensure that you have end-to-end resiliency. So this is another options to get connected to multi-cloud using MCR or MVE, the cloud router or the virtual edge, okay? So for this case, as you can see, you don't have to be in a data center to get connected to cloud. So basically what you need is that you just need to create a virtual router, which is a MCR, or a MVE, which can be a firewall router, okay, on our network, and create virtual connections on the virtual router to do multi-cloud connections. So for example, you create a virtual connections on the virtual router or firewall to the AWS and Google on the right, and this will ensure they have cloud-to-cloud communications via this MCR MVE. So the virtual router or firewall can also be located within the same data center as the cloud, and that will give you a low latency cloud connectivities. If you need resiliency options, you can also spin up another virtual router in another data center or locations, and everything will be entirely independent and redundant as well. So you're able to connect to the CSP in a very resilient way of having each virtual router connecting to the redundant point of the CSP within the same or different region. So finally, if you bring all this together, okay, from the data center to the virtual router, and then connecting them to the cloud service provider, this will give you a hybrid multi-cloud. So with the virtual router, it gives you the cloud-to-cloud communications, whereby the cloud will communicate with each other through the virtual router. In this way, instead of routing the traffic back from the cloud to the router in the data center, you can terminate the connections on the virtual router. And by connecting back to the data center, it also allows certain traffic as you wish to go back to the data center through the virtual cloud router much easier. Yeah, so what I will show you are some of the use cases with how you can leverage on Megaport. Okay, so now is the time for a live demo. So I'll be showing you how to deploy services to form data center to data center interconnections. Okay, so let me head over to my demo. Yeah, so as you can see, this will be the Megaport portal, okay? So when you log in, you'll be landed with this landing page, okay? We show you a globe, okay? So you can spin the globe, okay? So the dots on the globe represent the point of presence that we have around the world. So once you expand on the dot itself, you are able to see the services that we have, on that point, okay? So you're able to deploy services over here as well by clicking on, okay, if you like this view. Otherwise, we can head over to services to do a deployment as well. As you can see, this is a bird eye view for you to view all the services that you have in the portal. Okay, so this is my demo account. You'll be able to see that there's like 37 ports running, 10 MCR, 20 MVE, and 92 VXD. So these are the three services that you can deploy. So for example, if you wanted to do a NNI with us, you can create a port. Likewise, if you like to have a Megaport Cloud Router, you are able to do that as well by clicking on the button, and also a virtual edge as well. Okay, so I'm going to head over to show you how you can create a port. Yeah, so you just need to key on the create port. So first of all, you need to choose the locations that you want to deploy the port, where you want to meet us. So for example, I'm going to deploy a port in Singapore, in maybe global switch. Okay, I'm going to choose global switch. So here are all the data center that we have point of presence in Singapore. Okay, so there are many for you to choose. I'm going to choose global switch now. I'm going to hit next. Okay, so these are the different port speed that we offer from 1 to 100. So I'm going to choose 1. I'm going to choose a port name. I'm going to say tag SG. And then you're going to choose a contract term, okay, for 1 month or up to 36 months, okay? So you realize that if you choose a longer contract, the pricing will definitely be more cheaper. Okay, so there's this thing called port diversity. So you can create a port and port diversity. So port diversity is mainly creating a port in a different hardware if you have more than one port. So for example, let's say you create a 2 ports, okay, the port can be created in a red and a blue zone. So when Megaport did a maintenance, we always take down based on color zone. So we'll take down in either red or the blue zone in the data center. So in this way, you'll be able to have a hardware resiliency in the same data center. So I'm going to choose none, and I'm going to hit next. Okay, so once the configuration is okay, you're going to choose add port. And I'm going to place the order now, and I'm going to say order now. Okay. So as you can see, the pod is waiting for resources or location. So it's still in a deployment stage. So I'm going to head over to create another pod in Hong Kong so that I can show you how we can do a data center to data center interconnect. So I'm going to choose Hong Kong for this case. So once I choose Hong Kong, these are all the different data center that you can meet us. So I'm going to say maybe Mega I, and I'm going to choose hit next. For here, I'm going to choose 1 Gbps as well, and I'm going to choose a name. I'll say Tech Hong Kong, and then I'm going to choose the contract as well. I'm going to say 1 month, and then I will leave the setting to default. Everything is okay. I'll hit at the port, and then I will say order, and I'll say order now. Okay, so as you can see, I already deploy my Hong Kong pod in Hong Kong. Okay, so it's still in deployment stage, but the port in Singapore is considered configure. Okay, so what next is that you had to download the LOA, which is a letter of authorization. Okay, so you pass the letter of authorizations to the data center for them to do the cross connect patching from your rack to Megaport demarcation stated over here. Okay, so this is the demarcation. Okay, so once it has been done, you realize that once the patching has been done, you realize that the port will turn into green. Something like this as below. The green will show you that the port is alive and it's ready to be used to build any connections. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, the Tech Hong Kong port is also configured. So you remember to download the LOA and pass it to the data center in Mega IX for them to do a direct patching as well. Okay. So what I'm going to show you is that how you can do a connection between the data center to the data center. Yeah. So we can hit on these connections, okay, on the port that you want to build a connections. So let's say I'm going to build the connection starting from my Mega IX, I would say a plus connection here. And then once you head over to the cloud, just to show you that these are all the cloud that we have and we are already interconnected. So you're able to choose from any cloud over here to get connected to them, okay? And then, as I mentioned, we are going to do a data center to data center interconnect. You're going to hit on this private VXC. So tag H, I'm going to key in tag SG is over here. So what I'm going to do now is doing a connection from Hong Kong to SG. I'll say next. And then you had to put a name. So I'm going to say Hong Kong to Singapore VXC. Okay, so this is the rate limit, the bandwidth that you want to input for the connection. So for example, I'm going to say I'm going to put 100 meg connection between the data center, leave the setting to default. And over here, you also need to define the contract as well, whether there's no contract or up to 36 months. I'll say next. You take a look at the configuration. If everything is okay, you'll just add a VXC. And then you will do an order now, okay? So this again will take approximately few minutes for the service to be up, but because the pod is not live, so definitely service will not be up, okay? So once the pod is live, the service will definitely be up, okay? So I'm going to show you how you can build connections, okay, from the pod to a cloud as well. But before that, I'm also going to share with you that from the pod perspective, you are able to build the connection to the destination such as internet exchange, which I mentioned just now because we have our own Mega IX, okay? You're also able to connect to our Megaport marketplace via here. So therefore, you have to choose the provider that you want to get connected with. Later on, I'll show you, a more comprehensive way as a marketplace. And then lastly, if you want to connect to any account that you want to consume their service, the person can pass you the service key for you to get connected to them via this service key. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to show you now is to connections. For example, let's say you have requirements to connect to also to AWS via Direct Connect. Okay. So you're going to choose the connection type for AWS, and then you're going to choose the destination port that you want to get on ramp. As you can see, there's many locations that you can on ramp from AWS itself. So for Hong Kong itself, let's say I'm going to connect to AWS in Mega IX, Mega I. Okay, I'm going to say next, and then I'm going to put a name. I'm going to say AWS VXC. I'll choose the rate limit. For example, 50 meg connections. Same thing again, you got to choose the terms for this VXC. Okay, I'm going to say next. And okay, so for any connection to a cloud, usually they will request you to put in a service key, a parent key. Okay, for AWS, it's an account ID. So you had to get your account ID ready. So for example, I'm going to put my account ID, and then remember to key in your customer ASN. Okay, the rest you can leave it default for AWS to assign to you. Otherwise, if you have, you can just key in. I'm going to leave it to default, and I'm going to click next. Okay. So you just have to make sure everything is fine, is good before you add the VXC. Remember to cut out as well. Okay. I'm going to say order now, and then I'm going to say order now. Okay, so what I will just show you is that I have built a connections from a port in Hong Kong, Mega I, to AWS in Mega I as well. Okay, I also have just built a data center to data center connections between the port in Hong Kong to the port in Singapore. This will give you a data center to data center interconnection. Yeah. So lastly, I'm going to show you about our marketplace. So just now, as I mentioned, the port can be connected to a marketplace as well. So by clicking on this marketplace, okay, these are all our partners or our customers or provider that publish a service on the marketplace for people, for customers to get connected to them to consume their services, okay? So if you know that the providers that you want, you can just key in the name here. Otherwise, you can do a filtering, okay? I'll just clear the filter. So these are all the providers that you can consume the service. If you like to filter based on the kind of service that they provide, you can just head over here. So lately we have this AI exchange and a financial service exchange as well. So I'm going to click it. Okay. So click it and then you have a filter. So now I'm going to say AI exchange. So for example, here, these are all the AI exchange. So these are all the provider providing AI sort of service, like GPU as a service as well. So if you have like, if you wanted to connect to them, you can just click on them and then you can contact them directly over here. Otherwise, you can start connecting to them via this connection. Yeah. Okay. So with that, I have come to the end. So I hope you have briefly understand what Megaport can offer and how easy is to use our portal to deploy services on the go. So if you have any questions, if not, let's see, if you have no questions, and then we will end today's sessions. So thank you for being here today, and I wish you a good Friday. Yeah, thank you.